Hello, everybody, and welcome to my presentation on searching for images. My name is Emma, and today I'll be walking us through a few different ways that you can find images online for use in your projects. Now, raise your hand or put an emoji in the chat if you've ever been in this situation. You need a thumbnail for your YouTube video, or a picture for the middle of an article you're writing, or a graphic design to go across the top of your presentation, and you don't have a lot of time. So you go to Google, search for your topic, grab the first image that looks good, and slap it onto your project. Done. So just about everybody should have reacted, because I know that absolutely everybody here has done that. I even remember the first time that I did that. It was in the early days of Google, around 2002, when I was in middle school, and I'd been working on a report about Mars for a science class. I decided to add a picture of Mars to the title page as a final touch, and my parents freaked out. They were like, no, we're going to have to drive to the library and find an encyclopedia and scan it in. But I said, watch this. And I jumped on Google, grabbed the first picture of Mars that came up, put it on the front page of my report. And my parents thought I was an absolute computer genius. And that's how I got stuck solving all of their computer technical problems for the next 20 years. But that method is not going to work nowadays for your projects. There are a lot more places to find images online and a lot of other considerations to keep in mind, such as whether or not the image is copyrighted. So today we're going to go over a few searching methods, tips, and tricks to make finding images for your projects a lot easier. We're going to look at three major ways that we can find images online. The first, which everybody is probably familiar with, is using online search engines like Google, Bing, or DuckDuckGo, but we'll be chiefly looking at Google for our examples. The second is specialized websites, including news sites like the Associated Press Newsroom, library and museum sites like Getty Images, and specialized sites like the Associated Press Newsroom, and specialized sites like the NASA website, which is where I got that picture of Mars that we were just looking at. Third, we'll be looking at paid image databases that you might have access to through your school or local library, such as the AP Images database. Throughout, we'll also go over some common stumbling blocks, like how to tell whether or not you can legally use an image, how to find images in high resolution, and finally, how to create a citation for your chosen image once you've found one. So first up, let's take a look at Google. Everybody is probably familiar with typing into the Google search bar and clicking on images to show a page full of images. Many of the results that you get, though, will be watermarked or put under a commercial license. So how do you find the ones that you can use? Well, Google has a few tools specifically for that purpose. Clicking on Tools opens up a Usage Rights tab, which you can choose to sort Creative Commons images from commercial licenses. Secondly, you can hover your mouse over an image, and this will bring up a small icon in the lower left corner that will say whether the image is licensable or not. Finally, if you click on the image, Google has attached metadata that will show beneath it, which will let you click on and view the license details. But already you might be wondering, what exactly is a Creative Commons license or a commercial license, and why does it matter? Well, in most cases, images on the internet are not free to use. Some content you cannot legally use at all. If an image is available under a commercial license, that means that you can only use it if you pay the creator money. Chances are that if you are working on any kind of project where you expect to make money, for example, if you are printing out a photo book to resell or making a thumbnail for a monetized YouTube video, then you will need to pay for a commercial license and pay the creator. By contrast, images under a Creative Commons license are free to use, but may have some restrictions on how you can use them. The non-commercial condition means that you can't use the image on anything where you expect to make serious money. The attribution condition means that you can use the image, but must give credit to the creator, such as linking to the source image or including a citation. The share alike condition means that if you use and modify the image, such as in a Photoshop project, then you have to let other people use your work in turn. Finally, the no derivative works condition means that you can use the image, but you cannot alter it. You have to use the image exactly as it is. When you view the license details of an image on Google, it will show which of these conditions are required and will show some of these icons. Now that we know a bit about how some of these licenses work, let's move on to other websites. There are many different sites across the internet that have dedicated collections of images. Many museums, major libraries, and universities have digitized parts of their collections and have them available to view online. Some, like the Getty Museum site we'll be looking at today, have dedicated open content programs for some of their work. If this is the case, the work can be used freely with attribution, similar to images under a Creative Commons license. However, you are not restricted to looking at only museums and libraries. If you're looking for photos of recent real-life events, some news site organizations, like the Associated Press, maintain a database of the photos that accompany their news articles. Other special interest organizations may also have galleries of images related to their work, such as that Mars photo from NASA. Here, I've highlighted the Getty Search Gateway from the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. The Getty has an extensive digitization program for its collection. While not every image in their collection can be used without a license, the Getty Open Content Program is dedicated to making high-resolution images of public domain artwork available for free and with no restrictions on its use. Over the last 10 years, the Getty has added over 150,000 images to this collection. When searching on the Getty website, there's an option to view only these open content images. If you use the search filter, you'll be able to freely use any of the results that turn up. Since the Getty site is an organized database, it has a large number of other useful filters that you can use as well. These include searching by the type of image, such as a photograph versus a painting, searching on the topic of the image, such as history or mythology, searching for places featured in the image, and searching for the names of the photographer or the artist. This detailed data is one major benefit that organized databases have over search engines like Google. Another advantage is that you can click on an image and it will tell you the title of the work, the photographer or artist, the creation date, the ownership history of the artwork, and more. This is where you'll find the information that you'll need to create a citation for the image. It's all right there, so you don't have to hunt it down. Finally, let's move on to image databases. These databases are high quality, but unlike our first two options, you have to pay upfront to access them, and the costs are usually too expensive for a single person. However, your school or local library may have a subscription that you can use to gain access. For this lesson, I pulled images from the Associated Press Images Collection, also known as AP Images or AP Newsroom, which I accessed through my university. Image databases have robust search functionalities. You'll be able to use most of the search techniques from our past lessons in these databases. Using the advanced search function, you can use Boolean operators and truncation symbols to narrow or expand your searches. The AP Images database has a large number of additional advanced filters that you can use to refine your search by date, location, photographer, subject, and more. Once you've found a good image, you'll be able to download it in full quality by emailing it to yourself, saving it to Google Drive or OneDrive, or saving it to your computer directly. Like the Getty website, these databases will also give you all the information available about an image, which will be invaluable when making your citations later. Some databases have automatic citation makers, but be sure to double check the results. When I found that cute picture of the husky in the top right corner, the automatic citation from AP Images had put in the June 23rd as the name of a second photographer and not as the date. But don't worry, we'll go over how to make good citations in a minute. But first, we're going to have a quick pop quiz to see how well you remember what we've just covered. Please feel free to unmute your microphones and give the answer out loud. So question 1, what does this symbol mean? Your options are attribution, share alike, no derivative works, or non-commercial.
Attribution?
That is correct. This is the attribution symbol on a Creative Commons license. You can use this content as long as you appropriately credit the original creator. All right, question 2. What is the name of the filter you can use to see free public domain images on the Getty Gateway search? Your options are Getty Search, Open Content Images, Public Domain Images, or Creative Commons Pictures. Does anybody remember? It had that little check mark at the top of the screen.
It's B, Open Content Images?
You are correct. It is Open Content Images. And the Getty has over 150,000 public domain images in the Getty Open Content database. All right, our third one is easier. This is true or false. Truncation symbols do not work in the AP Images database.
False?
You guys are right. 3 for 3. That is false. Boolean operators, truncation and wildcard symbols, and other search strategies work in image databases. So really great job, everybody. Now let's move on to the final section, which is making citations. At first, setting an image may seem really tricky. However, when you break it down, you'll find that images have a lot of the same components as the books and articles that you're used to citing. APA 7 citations have 4 sections, one for the creator, one for the date, one for the title of a work, and one for the source of the work, each separated by periods. Identifying this information for images is similar to identifying it for a book or an article. Instead of an author, you'll look for the name of the photographer or artist and use that, following the same conventions you would for writing an author name. For dates, you will want to use the date when the work was finished, or a range of dates if the work is recurring in a series that ran over time, such as an image that's used in the title card of every episode of a TV show. Next, you'll include the title of the work, if it has one, and a description of the medium of the work in brackets afterwards, such as photo, painting, or YouTube video. Finally, for the source, list the museum, library, website, or link where you got the image from. Sometimes this information will be missing, so in the last column of the table, I've included what to do if you can't find it or if it doesn't exist. If there is no creator, you move the title of the work to the place where the creator's name would usually be. Only put anonymous if the work is actually accredited to anonymous. If the author is just unknown, then use the title. If you don't know the date, then use ND, which is short for no date. If there's no title, then you can briefly describe the image in brackets. Finally, you should always have a source or a link of some kind so that readers know how to find the original image. If you truly have no source at all, like say it's a photo that your friend texted you, but it's not published anywhere, then you might not want to include it in your references list since there's no way for anyone else to access that reference and verify. MLA citations are slightly trickier. MLA 9 has slightly different requirements for images depending on whether it's an image that you found online from a search engine, an image you found from a museum or library collection website, or an image you found in a database. So each of our 3 categories. For the most part, though, MLA citations ask for the same information that APA citations do, just in a different format. The only exception is that in the case of physical art, such as a painting or a sculpture, the MLA asks you to include the medium of the original physical artwork, such as oil on canvas or marble for a digital image or a sculpture. Remember that when in doubt, both APA and MLA have style handbooks that answer a lot of niche questions. APA also has a presence on social media and will answer questions on their Facebook page. Finally, here are some last miscellaneous tips for your searches. First, pay attention to the type of file that you're downloading and what format you save it in. JPEG files are smaller, but are often compressed and will have lower resolution. PNGs are often higher resolution and support transparent backgrounds on images, which is very useful if you're looking for a graphic element. When you're saving an image directly to your device, you can often choose what kind of file to save the image as. You can also use the file type operator on Google to retrieve images that are all of one file type or another. Google has other useful filters as well, including searching for images by size and date. Usually a higher resolution image will be a higher size, so searching for large images will get you clearer images. Another good tip is to save your citation information early, as soon as you find a picture you might want to use. If you just save the picture somewhere with no identifying information, and then you're trying to find it again later, that can be a huge pain, especially if you don't remember which database or website you got it from. Even if you don't have the time to format the citation right then, just copying the information down somewhere will save you a ton of time later. Finally, if you're looking at images online that have been created recently, such as an artist or photographer posting their work on social media, and you aren't sure whether you can use the image, try reaching out to the creator directly. A lot of the time, people will be excited that you like their work and will give permission, as long as you credit them properly and are not making money off their work. And now we've come to the end of our lesson for today. To recap, let's quickly go over what we learned about each method of finding online images. Search engines like Google are easy to use due to their familiarity and have lots of useful filters. However, it can be hard to find the original source of an image or figure out whether it's copyrighted, licensed, or in the public domain. It's a good practice to filter for images that are under a Creative Commons license and to check the license to see what forms of usage are allowed. Specialized websites are another great resource for finding images. There are many public collections, such as the Art Institute of Chicago, the Library of Congress, and the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, that have an extensive online presence. Depending on your topic, there may also be a special interest group with lots of dedicated images, such as NASA's collection of images from space. Professional databases are often behind a paywall, but will have very good search functionality, attribution information, and images in full resolution. Most databases will allow you to use the searching techniques that we've gone over in the past, such as Boolean operators and truncation, in order to really refine your search. Finally, when it comes to citing images, remember that it's not as intimidating as it seems. Databases and collections will give you all of the information that you need, and it's not really any different from citing a book or an article. On screen now, you'll see the worksheet that will be your homework for tonight. Please take a few minutes to look it over. While you do, I will open the floor to any questions about the lesson or about the worksheet. All right, if there are no questions, then thank you. I will be posting the worksheet in the chat, and everybody have a great day.